Hey beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. You're here with me, Sarita and Stevie K. Okay, today guys, on this episode, we're going to be speaking about what goes on in the man's mind. Because I feel like you've been really quiet. Although we've been for a lovely walk today, we've had lots to talk about. Like the last hour or so, us women, if we've got something to say, we'll just say it. We'll get it off our chest. Even if you know it will probably upset you or irritate you, because we feel like it's better to talk about stuff and resolve stuff. But it's gonna bug me. You've just been really quiet, and I think that's a lot of majority of men. They just like get on with stuff and are just all up in their own head and can't. I know we've had these conversations before about men just can't talk and stuff, find it difficult to share their emotions or feelings and stuff. But I thought maybe we could maybe bring it up again because you're very quiet today.
Just got loads to think about, loads to do.
And what is that though?
Work, other things that need doing. Obviously we've got other work that needs doing.
But so do I. I have work to do, but you just seem a different you, and I know that.
Nothing to say. Just when you got millions of things going in your head, you just like
But isn't it good to talk about them?
No, not always.
No, I mean, not saying you have to talk about the things that you've got going on in your head, but why you keep it all in your head and don't kind of.
Because sometimes you don't want to say things that you shouldn't say, or in the way that you shouldn't say them, and then it just comes out in something else and takes you somewhere else where you shouldn't be going, and you just wish you never spoke in the first place.
I get that.
So sometimes it's just better to focus on the things that you can do, or the things that you can control, or the things that you need to do, instead of having these conversations openly, because they lead to other things. And when they lead to other things, it's not always a good thing, because it makes you think about even more stuff, and then you wish that you never opened your mouth in the first place.
Do you think that is to do with just how things have been for us in the past, like opening up about stuff, not between each other?
It's like now we always have these conversations that be your true self. This is what we always say to people when they reach out to us: be your true self. Don't change for anyone else, because don't matter how much you adjust who you are just to accommodate other people or to be liked. Or, I'm not saying you shouldn't be kind and respectable, but, you still, at the same time, are saying don't be who you truly are. I mean, I'm not a sort of
I get that
horrible, rude person or say something bad about people. Unless I really hate them. But even then, when you be open and you honest, you feel that you shouldn't have been open and honest, because... Yeah. Or if you're going to be open and honest, then be careful of what you say and how you say it. But again, you're thinking more about the audience and everyone else, and then you're not really being true to yourself. So yeah, you can't win. So You know what I've realised is, I'm one of those guys who actually learns from his mistakes. Trust me, last year I went through quite a few things where I've learned not to text people because I'm not good at it, and so you text in a way of wanting to say something or responding to something that someone said, and then they obviously perceive it in a total different way, which makes even things worse. Then I always find that I'm the one who tends to apologize, and then I'm learning from it. I'm going, look, I'm not going to do that again.
Or it's not just that, you're trying to
I'm justifying.
And in a way that you probably wouldn't do as well. You're not being yourself, tiptoeing around.
And then I changed my approach to talking to people that I would have spoke to in a certain way, because I think, okay, I'm not getting through to them, or they're not going to listen, or they're not going to understand, or it's going to become something else. So instead of saying what I truly feel, and this could be people who are really close to me and, they know me inside out, I'm not being me, and then at the same time, I'm basically saying what I believe that those people want to hear.
Yeah.
In the way that I think, or in the way that I think they want to hear. But at the same time, I'm not actually saying what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then I look at
concerns and
myself and I'm
worries, yeah.
thinking, well, why did I even bother saying it for?
It's like
Because I'm not actually saying what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and they not still taking on board what I'm trying to say because I'm not getting direct to the point. And then I'm also not being me. And then you know what I do is I take myself out of the equation. And I do that all the time with everyone. I always go, look, if I can't be me and I can't talk in the way that I want to talk, and like I said, not talking down to people or saying something bad to people, but if I can't truly be me, and I have to tiptoe around what I say or how I say, or just listen, and then go away, then I just go, then what's the point?
Right.
And you know, I'd rather be. I've learned in my space now with the people I have in my life or don't have in my life that, you know, if I can't be me around people, then I'd rather just be me by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not fussed. If and I've got so used to not having people in my life that I just now look at it and going, I got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And if people don't like me for who I am, then it is what it is.
Yeah. No, I completely.
And so when you're telling me that I've got things in my mind, I have got things in my mind, and I always feel like, you know what? In my own head, many times I feel growing up, I'm not good enough, or I'm failure, or people are judgmental, or I've been a people pleaser, and I've said that many times, and I'm always doing things. And then if I feel that my actions or what I've done ain't right, or what my mum taught me to be, which I'm going to say is always be the bigger person. Always be the bigger person. Always say the right thing. Always do the right thing. And I did. And then it's come to the point where now, when I, you know, learnt that if I have to always be the bigger person around people, then I'm obviously clearly hanging around with smaller people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm sorry, you know, and like I said, I'm not there like pointing fingers and telling people to change and be, you know, this, that, and the other.
It's that people want you to accept them for who they are, but then when it's role reversal, it's different. Because I completely get you, and however you come across, I understand. Like
And the other thing is, I think I've stopped fighting for. Yeah, there was a time when I would fight for people to be in my life.
Yeah.
And I would want to be liked. And I would bend over backwards to be a certain person, do all the stuff that I think people want. I think now I've come to the terms with if people don't like me, and, you know, I'm not going to do that. And I rather, it's that thing of going live and let live. And not only that, don't say anything, you know, just if you don't get on with people, then it is what it is. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is accept people for who they are. But it doesn't mean, like now, if I know there's a negative person around and they're always draining my energy, everything that they're saying is just, oh God, you know, or they've been rude and disrespectful for me, I can't, and even if it is a family member or someone close to you, you know, it doesn't mean that I have to accept it and going, I've got to be around this person. It's okay. Do you know, that's fine. Instead, you just got to go, you know, why am I wasting? Because majority of the time, what would happen is you have a conversation and they might say things and you're not happy about it, but you might keep it in, or you might go and talk about it, or you might, you know, you're not going to win anything.
Yeah.
It's all going to be ego, you know, of I need to defend myself. I've got to react, or they want a reaction. And that's what ends up happening. So more or less, many times people, when they say things to you, they want to see a reaction.
Yeah.
And they want to see how you're going to behave.
Yeah.
Or it's because they've got their journey, they've got their, you know, feelings, emotions, traumas, insecurities, or whatever it might be, fears. So they're like that. And sometimes they want validation, or some people just want to get a reaction to show that they have control or power over you. And I think many times you start defending yourself, or you defend your identity. People say, look, this is me. I know who I am. I like who I am. Be more like me. Or the other person like me, I might say, be more like me, you know. And so we all fight in our corners to say, I'm right, or what I think about or how I am is right. Either you become more like me because I don't want to become like you. But the thing is, you don't need that. And I think even I'm trying to understand that. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying you know, for me, I'm sometimes going, oh God, you know what? I could be judgmental. I could look at it and going, you know, certainly in our circumstances, growing up in a traditional Indian family, I know how things used to be. I know the things I had to do. I knew how people spoke and what they were thinking. So when you come from that, and now I don't live
that we've drawn
in the
away from it.
norm, like, in that kind of. So, but I'm aware of it, why people do that, who do that, and what they feel, and which is fine, which is good. But it's me now. I'm saying to myself, it's me accepting that that's okay, that's all right. I was there. I probably would have still been there if I was in that such circumstances.
Yeah.
But I'm not that now.
Mindset, yeah.
So it's things like that. Like, so when you ask me, I just have all these things to myself. Is that it's? I think I've more and more grown of. Do you know what? I am happier alone. I am so much more happy alone. I realize that, number one, people ain't gonna get offended by me, but at the same time, you know what? When I'm around certain people where I can be myself, say what I like, and like I said, majority of them wouldn't say that I'm offending them or being rude or disrespectful or anything like that.
You're allowed to be you.
I just talk, and I have my sense of humor, and I'll laugh, or vice versa. And it's my kind of people, and it's that. And
do you think, like, it's every man, like most men who, like the women do all the talking, they are very much outspoken, where men, whatever they're feeling, they kind of just, like you're saying, that what is the point? What is, if it's addressing it with their own partner, what is the point? Because you do see men, as they age, they do get a bit quieter. Even if their woman is getting on their nerves, they kind of just mellow down. They don't say anything to
I
them.
do think, what is the point? Because it's like saying, I want to hear what you've got to say, and be honest.
Be honest.
And then when the person says it, it's like, maybe you shouldn't have been honest, or maybe you shouldn't have said it in the way, or you should have said it like this, and and you're like going, which is fine. I even understand that, but then you're sitting there. Am I thinking about being honest, or am I thinking about what I'm saying in the way that I'm saying? But again, I'm thinking more about you. So you're telling me to be open up, but at the same time you're saying, but consider me and my feelings more than what you've got to say.
Yeah. So
tell me what's in your head.
Yeah.
But also be mindful that maybe I don't want to hear it, or if I'm going to hear it, that you sensitive to my needs.
My needs.
And then you're going, well, then I'm not open and honest. Then I'm more. Then what you're trying to tell me is, don't think about you and your thoughts and your feelings. Actually, think about me.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I want to hear. But make sure before you open your mouth that you do it in this frame, in the sense of, my feelings and my thoughts are more important for how you come across.
Yeah.
And then you go in, and and that is, for most guys, it's like, it's too much. Then I'd rather go to a therapist and sit there and just say what I want.
Yeah, in the way
because I know that therapist ain't going to judge me.
And you also know that you're not going to say it in such a way, in a manner like, it comes across disrespectful,
no,
rude, or whatever
I'd rather
else.
go and speak to a best mate and say, mate, what? I'm done my nutting.
Yeah, by the way, guys, this has got nothing to do with us at all. We've been for a lovely walk this morning. We've just been discussing stuff, and I can see that since we've been discussing stuff, nothing about us, he seems like really withdrawn.
No,
and in yourself.
And the thing is, I'd rather be, what, this is my audience, this is who I can be around, and then if it's anywhere else, then guess what? It's just, be civil, be kind, be nice, but...
It makes me think, Kenny, when
keep your mouth shut,
when you're saying that, when you're saying that, it's made me think about many times when we have been involved in family and, that community side, the Indian upbringing. I can remember, and I can recall even now, but I don't want to say who and these people, who they are. But, when you've had a gathering together and you always see that one or two men, they're just at the background and it's the woman doing all the talking. And they're all quiet and silent. It makes me think, is that the reason why? Because of the way they express or whatever it is?
No, unless you're around one person that you are comfortable with, and then even then you can shut off the world around you and you're more or less just focusing on this one person.
Yeah.
So I know for a fact that when I go somewhere, even if I'm uncomfortable with so many people, I'm going, look, okay, I'm going to be polite and I'm going to be nice. It's not being fake. It is, I am like that. I would just say hi, all right. I would even say to people that, I've had disagreements with in the past. I don't be rude or disrespectful. I'll just shake their hand and go, you're right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit down on your table and have a conversation. Yeah. Me and you don't click, but it doesn't mean that I can't be civil. Mm-hmm. And I am like that. Even someone knocks on my door that I haven't spoken to for ages, and I would just still say, all right, you know what I mean, and be polite, but at the same time, I probably won't invite them into my. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's that thing. Was it Tupac who said it? It was like going, I want everyone to eat, but just not on my table. You know what I mean? So everyone could be successful, but it doesn't mean that, I'm not taking anything from anyone. I want everyone to do well. But, I just don't want them to be sitting on my table and enjoying their party kind of thing.
Especially if you can't be who you are.
Yeah, so for me is be civil, be nice to people, but then also just go. Every time I used to go to a function or a party, I used to look, like say if it's in your situation, your family's situation, I only got on with a certain number of people, maybe one or two kind of thing.
And they were all outsiders, to be honest.
And they would be on the outside, so who are married in the family. And I would, go and sit with them, and I can truly be myself. Yourself. And then
they'd get your jokes, they'd get your humour.
And I would hang around with them until it's all over. But I'll still be like, doing the things that I need to be doing with everyone else. And still, when someone asks me something, I'll still be kind
because you'd
and
expect
polite.
them to accept you for who you are as well.
But my main conversation will be this person.
Who you actually
I'll always see that the other people are eavesdropping and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I'm just like going, it's all right. You like to shut off. It doesn't make no difference. I can't change. If you're not going to feel offended of eavesdropping, then again, I'm not going to whisper and do whatever. And it's like... And so that does make me feel...
Oh, God, that makes me think I've never had that on your side, because there's never been anyone that I've really got on with, like, even if it's an outsider, like, I've never really have. Like, I can sit down and have a conversation and they're at my level. I've not had that.
It's weird. Yeah. But that's how I sort of feel. And the thing is, more and more, and not only that, it's... Remember, we're all different. I mean, I've been a police officer for 20 years, so the way that I've learned to talk about people is, or talk...
address whatever it is.
Things, or talk, or whatever it might be. It's totally different. It's our walks of life, you know what I mean? And not only that, when people are brought up in different cultures or traditions or different, workspaces or whatever it might be, environments is the word that I'm looking for. You are going to be, you could talk, someone could talk to you in a certain way, and you're like, oh my God, this person, quite snobbish, and, they're probably looking down upon me because they're very educated or very posh, but they're not. Yeah, it's just the way that they speak. So everyone's got a different way of addressing things and communicating, and it's sometimes, but we're a judgmental world, regardless of what we think, we still do it.
But yet we want people to be honest and open.
Yeah, but at the same time, like me and you, we could probably turn around and say, look, oh God, you know what, people talk about each other and they're going, but many times we're talking about people and we dressing in, we're going, we shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, we actually do that.
You know what I mean? What's the difference between us and them lot?
Yeah.
Just because we, saying this, it doesn't mean we did the same thing.
We're just not
we
like
need to change those actions.
It's okay for them to be how they are, yeah.
Yeah, so it's learning, but it's not just saying someone's doing something, but it's like going, are we too?
Yeah.
But in a different way.
Yeah.
But we're just trying to justify it.
Yeah.
So I question my own actions.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be better than anyone. I'm just like, we should accept each other for who we are. But again, it is knowing your audience, knowing who you can laugh and joke with, knowing who you can be yourself with. So again, in this world, we do know who... in front of who we can be us, or who we have to just be mindful. And then also at the same time, who can truly open up and talk to. And I don't think that I have many people that I can truly open up and talk to. I always feel like I am treading on eggshells. Yeah. And that's when I just go, you know what, I'm happy about myself.
And the thing is that you're happy about yourself, but if you can see, you've changed so much to who you are now. Obviously we all grow, which is, we all need to change, better ourselves, but from the kind of person you were before, you'd say what you're feeling, and the fact that it didn't benefit you in it, you could see it kind of changed the relationship, you being honest and open and how you feel about certain things. Yeah, it didn't help you at all, and I think that's why you are now more tried to.
Yeah, because even then, if I put it this way, if someone said something wrong or bad to me and I was uncomfortable, and even this was when I was a kid. So if like I said, this is how my journey started and why I think I've been doing this is because when I was younger, say if I grew up with my sisters, my cousins, and there was all loads of us. But kids with kids. So we'll sometimes offend each other, or we say things that we shouldn't. I think I've mentioned this before. So if my cousins had said something and I got offended by it somehow, I'll go and tell my mum. And my mum will say, Jalho, it happens.
Always
Don't
have to
matter.
be the bigger person.
Yeah, be the bigger person. Let it be. It doesn't matter. It's nothing serious, okay. And I would take that on board and go, yeah, fine, okay. They probably didn't mean it. Fine. Okay, put it under the carpet. And then next week, we just carry on as we are. And I always, every time, put things under the carpet and went, yeah, okay, mum's telling me this, fine. And then they would continue and you address it again and address it. And you're going, it's not stopping kind of thing. So then all of a sudden, you just like going, well, and one thing is I've learned growing up is I hate bullies. I hate people who, I'm not saying my cousins were bullies. They're lovely. I got on with them. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that. But in general, I hate people who say things, get away with it, say things or do things, get away with it. Or do bully you. I've got that thing. And it's just like, well, someone needs to stand up here because no one else is. And I've done that many times. It doesn't matter if it was in your family or if it was in my family or in the police job. I hate it. So when it got to a point where it's like, okay, I've addressed this the right way. If it is calling the police or doing this or doing that, let me do it the right. You tell your teacher, address it the right way. You know what I mean? I don't want to be in trouble. I'm not that kind of guy. So I do it, boom, boom, boom. I'll tell this person, tell that person, do that person. Nothing changing. Then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now it's my way. And I'm still that. So I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be kind. I'm going to walk away. Or I'm going to say to this person or that person, can you address this? Can you talk this? Can you sort this? That. Because I don't mind doing it. But I don't think that the other person is going to, respond kindly to it. And then all of a sudden, but if he doesn't, then all of a sudden, okay, now it's done. Now it's my way. And then when I do it, then you realize that, oh, now, guess what? Roles are reversed. I ain't taking no more shit. And then now the other person's offended. And now the other person's offended. And, and they've now gone and addressed it to somebody else. Oh, this person, guess what he done? I'm the bad guy. And then all of a sudden, what used to happen was, like my aunt or uncle or whoever it might be, might go to my mum and say, you know what he did? I said, I'm not going, and now I say to my mum, yeah, that's because. So now they getting this, I'm getting addressed for my actions or what I've said.
Yeah.
But they didn't. So you could have nipped it in the bud.
Yeah.
And you could have resolved it. And how I saw it is, well, you're not backing me up. And same with Dad. You two don't back me up. Were behind me when other people have put me down or saying something. You can have an uncle who just like says something to you.
I think at
or
times,
puts you down.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking. I look towards my parents. Kind of thing.
It's not even that. I remember times when you would have situations that happen with immediate family. She'll take your side, then all of a sudden tunes would change.
Yeah, and so it wasn't. But even if it was in my presence, something's been said by an uncle or aunt or a different family member, it could be a brother-in-law, someone just like a cousin or whatever it might be. Something gets said, and my first initial reaction is look towards them. What you're going to do and what you're going to say. And it's normally was nothing. And they'll act like they didn't even hear it, or it's just, And then I would address it later and saying, did you like no? And again, be the bigger person. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And the thing is, and I get it, you know what? They never want to rock the boat with anyone else.
But that's wrong, because there's times where there were things were really bad where you've got...
I know.
No.
Yeah, but I'm not going towards that. I
why
think
not?
No, because it's not what I'm trying to talk about.
It's the same thing, though, because that was actually quite bad.
Thingy.
Yeah, I understand that, but that was quite bad that happened. That shocked me as being the son.
Okay, you've asked me to speak, and
I know,
then you're like, you're taking it. I'm not going there. I'm talking about my relationship with why I'm...
That's absolutely fine, but when you're saying that, I actually recall these things, and at one point where it was so bad that I was quite shocked that they weren't by your side with what had happened.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, exactly. So you're aware. But what I was going to say is it was since childhood. Yeah. It was like when I was younger, it was like that, to the point where it's like, well, F this, now I'm going to stand up for myself.
Yeah.
And then when I stood up for myself, it was like, you can't stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
You can't say anything. You can't do anything, because guess what? Those people are offended. And I'm like going, what? So
like
people can say whatever to me. People can do whatever to me. People can actually put me down in front of you guys, and you lot don't stand up for me. And then when I stand up for myself, you like telling me that I'm not allowed to do that and it's wrong, and people are what they're gonna think of you and this, that, and the other, and knowing that how you made them feel. And I was like going, I'm like baffled with all this. So I think what ended up happening was it was just more or less like, okay, you know what? Number one, I won't say nothing. Number two, I'll just keep you like happy. And it was continuously, okay, this is happening. Okay, going to that, no. Open up and talk. Just, you know what? Why are you upset? Why haven't you come here? Why aren't you doing this? Well, this happened. Oh, really? No, it was like, no, first it would be, oh my God, really? You know, and it's very much like, listen to me and stuff like that. Oh my God, that shouldn't have happened. That was wrong and all that. And then they'll go 5 minutes over that side and hear that and they're like going, well, yours doesn't matter.
Like when we went to India.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to go into stuff, but yeah. But I've gone through it so many times that it got to a point where it's just, you know what? When you got people talking to you in a certain way, people acting in a certain way, and then you're not happy about it and you can't stand up or you can't be yourself or you can't open up and talk, but yet they can say and do whatever they want, it's better just get out of the picture.
Yeah.
Stay out of the picture. That way, guess what? You're not going to offend me. I couldn't give a monkeys. You know what? Yeah. And I've got nothing to be judged or, you know, feel from you of what you've got to say. But at the same time, I've got nothing to say to you.
Yeah.
So I'm not offending you.
Yeah.
And you're not offending me. Guess what? Let's just live our lives. And that's what even now I'm like going, no, if I'm going to open up and talk about what's in my mind and how I feel, I do it around people I feel comfortable and safe with. That when I'm doing it, yeah, I'm not saying they might turn around and go, Steve, yeah, but you got this out of context. You know what? You got to be a bit more understanding. I get it. You know, yeah, maybe because, again, I'm not always going to be right. But, you know, at the same time, you're just going, this is how I was feeling at the time. Yeah, I could get where you're coming from, but maybe this was a situation. Okay. You know what I mean? I'd rather have people like that instead of like, you know, you people who don't, you know, you have to tiptoe around and you don't know who you are. So, you don't know who to be. You can't basically be open and honest. And not only that, I only could take it up to a certain point where I feel like people are talking to me and I go, Then I just go, I'm out the picture here.
Yeah.
And I'm happy at the picture. I think many people do need people around them, you know, all the time to feel validated, secure, happy, you know, and stuff like that. I think more and more I'm growing, I'm going, I don't. I'm okay.
And it's actually really good.
You know what? And I don't see it as a weakness. I see it as a strength.
Because a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Try be alone for a week on your own.
Treat me well. Treat me good. And I'll do the same. It's mutual respect. I don't care if you're older than me. I don't care if you're younger than me. And I don't care what your beliefs are, what your background is, what your, you know, how you see things. It's nothing about that. You know what I mean? I don't care what, like I said, religion, all these kind of things. It doesn't, or your color of your skin. Respect goes both ways, and you could be younger than me, and you know what? And even when I was in the police force, I used to see youngsters, and many times they were acting in the way they were because they weren't heard. And not only that, they, regardless of being a kid, they want to be respected and feel like they're valued. You know, there's something about them, and that you just, you know, when you just like shake their hand and you like, you know, show them this, even though I have a uniform on, and you show them a bit of respect, which they've never had in their life. Yeah. You realize that they see you as someone who, you know, they can respect. But when they're being put down and being treated like they're nothing and nobody, or you're just a kid, you know, you got many parents like you haven't got a voice, you can't say anything. I had that. My parents used to, even I got married, got kids, I was a police officer, and they would still not want to listen to me. No. They would rather listen to Joe Blogs, right? Who might not have the foggiest idea.
Oh, God, yeah.
Instead of going, but you're my kid. But now you can't know, you know what I mean?
And the thing is, you always proved it right as well. Because the advice that was needed, whatever you had said would always be right.
So for me, is I can have a youngster come up to me and, you know, talk to me, and I can probably take something from them, learn something from them. Doesn't mean like in this day and age, yeah, youngsters know quite a lot, you know, about AI, about, you know, computers, about social media, all this kind of stuff. The world evolves, everyone changes, everyone grows. But everyone trying to hold on to their beliefs, their values, but this is who I am, this is how I grow up with. Yeah,
Old
it's
as
like,
respect.
and
We're
this
older
is
than you, we know
yeah,
everything.
we're older than you, we know better, or you know what I mean, I'm from back in the days, and this is how the way I raised. That's like me saying, well, I'm a man, so therefore, guess what? If I'm back in those days, you as a woman don't have a voice.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be speaking. This is between two men. We make the decisions in our family or in our homes or in our lives.
That's how it
Your
used
job
to be.
is go in the kitchen, look after my parents, look after my children, look after me. And when I want to talk about things, I'll talk about them, but you shouldn't be saying
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
Keep your mouth shut. That is back in the days.
The repressed women they had, yeah.
You know what I mean? So you
sad.
can't have a voice. You shouldn't be drinking. You shouldn't be going out. You should be talking to people. When I say you can talk to
God,
people,
yeah.
how can I justify that's okay? Now, imagine if I was to say to someone, but I'm from back in the days where this is normal.
Yeah.
How many women or daughters or sisters or whoever want to turn around and go, where's he stuck? How is this right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? This is
want
the way
everyone
I've been
else to-
grown up.
but the
This is
thing
how
is-
my father was. This is how your
You want
father
everyone
was.
else
This is how
to
everyone else is.
You want everyone else to move forward, but those kind of people, you're okay with it for them to be who they are.
So you're basically trying to justify your actions. That I'm okay being me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And doing what I'm doing, and this is my technicality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can use this, that I can say what I want, do what I want, because this is what it is. And I don't agree with that. And the thing is, I know that I can be. You know what I mean? I could turn around and say, well, this is how I believe things should be. But it doesn't mean that other people are going to agree to it. And I know I'll get a big bash if I was to say that. The amount of women that even Indian women or women from India would turn around and say, who the heck do you think you are?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and I'm not agreeing with it. I'm not that.
it's not.
Before I say,
I'm sure
like, you know,
everyone knows that with the way I am.
my wife can wear what she wants, go out where if she wants. And same with my kids. I don't tell them how to live their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I see myself as my job is to protect them and to guide them.
Yeah.
So they come and say, this is a situation, Dad. What is your opinion?
Yeah.
I give my opinion. They want to take it, they take it. They don't want to take it, that's up to them. Because they're grown adults.
Exactly.
They make their choices in their life, their decisions. And knowing that if I'm not here tomorrow, I want to know that they're capable of looking after themselves and not like headless chickens.
Yeah.
You know, like thinking, oh God, we need to find someone else who's a parental role model or somebody who might have the answers. When truthfully, nobody's got the answers.
Yeah.
Everyone's the same. Everyone just thinks they got the answers. Oh, we've lived life though, we've seen it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Our grandparents didn't live the life that we have,
Yeah.
or what our children are living. They didn't experience that. The world was different. Our parents are the same.
No.
I don't know what my parents went through in India whilst they were in their childhood and how they were raised and what they had to see and go through. And my parents don't know what it's like to be born in the UK and growing up. They moved to the UK, but they're not us either. We're not them.
Yeah.
So they can't experience or know that, but we know where you're like coming from.
Yeah.
No, you don't. So we're not Indians, but we're not British either. We're not that. We're like this mixed thing. You know what I mean? Finding ourselves.
And that's it, because we've had to. The control you're talking about, we were molded into whatever we were, like your side, my side, and we've had to eventually find ourselves. And that's the main thing.
I don't go with the norm. That's all I say. I'm not saying that they're wrong or you know, but I don't.
We were tied to, but we knew it wasn't us. Like, and there was like a battle in between, and that's why with our kids, we want them to, because we don't want them to be where we have, like having to struggle to find who we are, what we like, how we wanted, anything, whatever it was, like, you know, how we want to be, what are our values. We want them to find themselves.
Yeah.
Like, that no one can, you know, take that away from them.
We say to our son now, look, don't dress like other.
Yeah.
Find you.
Yeah.
Who are you? You know
Forget
what I mean?
the trend.
Forget the trends. Forget what your friends are doing. Well, you know, I know our environment, the people we hang around with, and you know, it does have a big factor on us. But find you.
Yeah.
Find who you want to be.
Because at the end of the day, you've got to live with you. You know, that's the first person that you've got to really get on with. And like you're saying, we're the kind of people who have drawn away from everything. I absolutely love my own company. I absolutely love, you know, doing things alone. Like you said, we don't need a whole load of people to entertain us. And that is something really hard to do, because at the beginning, when we were going through these stages of, you know, who are we, what the hell, you know, where do we want to go in life, whatever it was, we find it difficult. And we were still like wanting people around us. I remember so many times where I'll be like, we've got nobody, and it's sad, such a sad life. I want to be around people, you know, I want friends, I want this and that. And you remember how much how much. And now I'm like, shit, man, this was all meant to be. to make us
I'm good,
change,
trust me.
grow, be good in our comfortable with being with yourself, because that's one hard thing to do.
Yeah, and the thing is that's how it is, and I've got nothing to. And you know what? It's that thing they say that the people who haven't got anything, they've got God. I've got God on my side, and that's how I see it. And people who haven't got anything to lose, well, they ain't got nothing to lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's that. And but again, like I said, there's a whole lot of different people out there, and it's good. You know what? People need to be happy with the circles that they have, with the people that they have in their life, the things that they're doing. As long as they're happy, it doesn't make no difference of what anyone else thinks and feels.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't be telling other people to change for me.
Yeah.
Who am I that they should change their values or the way they dress or the way that they think or, you know, the people that they hang about with?
The way they
If that's what works for them and that's what matters to them, that's fine. But again, at the same time, don't change me either. You know what I mean? Then you accept me for who I am, and there's so many things that I don't agree on, and I don't accept, and I'm not going to change that. And if you don't like that, then again, it's not my problem.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it. So, and if it is, you got an issue and a problem with it, then it's just like, cool. You know what? You clean your doorstep and your home and whatever, you stay there and I'll stay in mine. That's how it is. And that's what life is all about. You know what I mean? It's about not putting other people down, and at the same time, it's live and let live, like I said at the starting.
Yeah. Do you feel...
But trust me, it isn't good to open up your mind. I know people will say, be free. And even here, I'm talking openly, but many guys will openly say, regardless of anything, even if it is with your partner, it isn't. They can't.
Yeah.
You know what? Can you imagine if I was to come here and say to you, regardless, if you didn't even get on with your mum and dad, right? Which most of the time you're not. But if I was to say, it still probably would offend you because it's my mum and dad, and it's vice versa. So you just like turn around and go in, and I know who my mum and dad is. You know who your mum and dad is, but at the same time, if we were to say something, you still turn around and you're going, yeah, I know what you mean. I know. It's that thing. Again, even with our children, right? We could probably say something about our kids and saying, they're pain in the ass. Now, but if some other person was to say, your kid's a pain in the ass, you'll be like going, wait a second.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? And I'm sure everyone, and that's what I'm trying to say. So if anyone was to say anything to our daughter or son about us, I'm sure they'll be offended. And if we were to say something about someone else's parents, they've got every right to be offended. You know what? Even if it wasn't something so bad, if it's just like, you say something, they turn around and go, but I disagree. I'm not happy about that because they mean something to me. You know what? I might think it or see it or feel it, but hey up. You know what I mean? And it's understandable. And that's how I look at things. It's like, you know what? It's better to maybe sometimes not say anything, but to walk away.
Yeah.
It's not classing as I wouldn't say, is it the bigger man or something? It's that thing that you learn from being mindfulness, be acceptance, don't be attached to people, even the people that are the closest to you. It doesn't matter if it's your wife, your parents, your kids.
Excuse me?
No, they always tell you the attachment thing. Attachment usually also, if you see it in a different way, is we have this expectation of we want people to be in a certain way because that attachment is saying you as a wife should be like this, I as a husband should be like this. But sometimes when we're not fitting that mold, our kids should be like this, and our kids are saying our parents should be like this. And then when we don't do those things in those kind of ways, we get offended or we get angry and we're like going, wait a second, you should be like this, because you're attached to it. You want to have some sort of control over it, but you don't always have control over things. You can have control over yourself, but not over other people and other things. So when it's not happening the way you want it, then you get angry, upset, all the negative emotions come. Bloody, I feel like a philosopher or something. I'm not, guys. I'm not. but it's that. And so for me, it's, okay, you know what? I don't want to be offended by, and many times, and I've grown, many times things that you would have said or you wanted to do things, the attachment was, oh my gosh, she's doing this. So I was insecure. I used to be insecure, quite a lot insecure. What if this happened? Yeah, my mind would go into haywire, and it would be like this, or she shouldn't be doing this because so and so wouldn't be doing that. No one else is doing that, And it was like that. So that is attachment, and you also feeling like you have some sort of control. But when I sort of let that go and went, you know what? No. I felt so much at ease. And I got nothing to worry or lose or anything like that. I can only control me. I only can control that.
Yeah.
And I think people still have that kind of thing where everyone wants. Most of us are afraid. We want people to be in the way we want them to be. We want them to do things that make us happy. You know what I mean? And we already have our expectations. And then when things don't go accordingly, that's when we get angry, we get insecure, we get, you know what I mean? We push people away or whatever it might be. You see a different side of us because you had those, instead of going, it's okay.
We've let go of that side, the expectation. So we're far beyond that. Like we used to really be just like, not everyone expects something.
It's like I wanted my kids to be close to us. I wanted my daughters to be close. But now if my daughters were to say, hey, we're getting married and we're moving to Dubai or America, I'll be going, hey.
I can't wait.
I'll be going, that's your journey with your partner. That's fine. If that's what you believe is going to bring you happiness. Remember, at the end of the day, it's that saying, you know what? Like birds, they teach their babies to fly, and at the same time what we want to teach them to fly and soar into the air, go and do whatever, but every now and again fly back and see that we're here kind of thing. And the same thing with our kids. We want them to go and live their life, do what makes them happy, because as parents we want our children to be happy. That's the most important thing. And if they're happy and they're well, that's what matters. But every now and again come and just keep in touch, reassure us. And if we are so worried and determined, or we feel like, oh my God, you know what, I can't live without them, they mean the world to me, and this, that, and the other, which nothing wrong with that as well. That's fine. You know what? There are people who have that, you know what, I'm close to my kid, I've raised them, they matter to me. But like I said, if my daughter or my son-in-law or my son and his wife in the future went, Dad, move to America, move to Dubai, move to Australia, Canada, whatever it might be, because there's a potential of growth, there's, better living situations and stuff like that. I want to say, no, but what about me? What's going to happen to me? I can't live without you. Give them all the emotional blackmail, guilt. Please, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got to raise my kids and grandkids. I need to be there 24/7. I'm going to cry.
I know someone who's actually done that to someone's career.
I would not do that. I would just go, you know what? Obviously, I'm going to be hurt. I'm going to miss you. I miss my kids now when they're away, Do it.
Yeah.
I'll be encouraging them and supporting them. But you're going to be okay. And you know what I'll say is, trust me, if I'm not okay, either I'll be visiting you often, or number two, I'll sell the crap up here.
And I'll move right.
You find me a place not so close, so you still got your space. If I want to be so much with you, I'll come.
Yeah.
Because you mean that much to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What means more, and that's it. And if you got 3 or 4 kids that are spread across, then I'll turn around and say, well, which one am I the closest to? That I can be myself and be like, have yourself. A laugh and a joke with. I'm going to move near to them. But guess what? I'll still go and visit the other ones. If you lot can't come and visit me, I'll do that.
Yeah.
As long as I got the money. Or you lot will be paying for me to visit. Again, but you find a way.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing I'm trying to say. In life, things ain't always going to go according to the blueprint. Or what our, grandparents did, or what our parents did, or what they thought, or what they wanted us to be. But and that's the beauty of where I am and with us two is, my expectations are, what, I want my kids and everyone to be happy and doing well in life, but I know that I'm okay if things adjust. I'll adjust with them. And not only that, if I think things ain't going accordingly or the way that I wish that they would, or I haven't got a clue, I'll find a way. I always have.
Mm-hmm.
And, things will be better. That's how I see it.
I'm glad we brought that up because you had lots to say. And I feel like you seem more alive now, just letting it all go. And you've also brought up things that you probably haven't thought about but related to this. Say, for instance, when you were saying the insecurity Like how even that's a big thing, because you think about it, the change that you've had, and it's the same thing, isn't it? Acceptance. You got to, like, it's just about your, control of yourself, not someone else, kind of thing. It kind of links, doesn't it, with everything?
I don't fight for things like I used to. It's like if people want to be in my life, they know where I am.
Yeah.
And they can be in my life, and more than welcome to. But I've stopped chasing everything.
I think because, and that again, talking
And
about the conversations we
I've let
had,
go.
that you've got
and
every
I'm
reason.
not saying people are bad people, I'm
It's
not
just to
comparing.
protect yourself
I'm
with what
not
you've been
comparing.
through.
It's not even to protect. I'm not comparing it and saying I'm better, or I know better, and all that. It's not, and it's not like, oh, I'm protecting myself. You know what I mean? It's not that. It's just basically like
You've grown.
it is that.
Yeah.
I think I'm okay.
You don't allow those kind of things that would have, like.
I think most people, it's because of the things that I listen to or I learn, we're all energy. And either energy could be high or it could be down. And not only that, if I'll be around people that sort of either drain my energy or make me feel like shit, then that impacts the other people that are around me.
Yeah.
And it's not fair on them. So, like my work, the energy from my work back when I was in the police force was draining me. And it used to affect everyone around me. You lot weren't working there. You lot weren't experiencing it. You weren't around those people. But it was affecting you, it was affecting our children, and and I wasn't happy. But what's got to do with you lot? But that's energy from there, due to those people that's. So I don't want that. So I could be out there, and if I've got a friend who's like do my head in all the time, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna, because I want to let go. But then it affects you, and you don't need that. And this is how I see life, as in, whatever we do, it could be our work. It's not always people. It could be whatever our circumstance is, what's our energy and what are we giving to others. And so it's not, oh, I'm protecting myself. It could be like, basically, if people don't want to understand where I'm coming from, or people don't agree with me being, oh my God, you're not like us. You grew up with us, or you're the same religion, same color, but you don't think like us. You don't talk like us. You don't understand the things that we understand. But then it affects them because they like thinking, this is our identity, and you questioning, you're making us question our identity, but you're making us think, and then they're talking to other people. Now I've just made them think about things that were irrelevant. They don't have to think about those stuff when they're around the people that they feel comfortable with.
Yeah. Because
they can be themselves, and those people are exactly the same as them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I come into their sort of space, I could make them think, wait a second, you know what, I don't like what he's saying and what he's saying. Oh God, his kids can do whatever they want, or this, that and the other. They're independent. He doesn't clearly care about them. This is not the Indian way, or whatever it might be, or you know what, he allows them to dress how they want. Oh, wait a second, he should be like in charge, telling them what to do, how to do it, blah blah blah. And so when it's like that, they start having this thing of going, I don't like who he is. I don't like the way he thinks.
Yeah.
Who does he think he is? Does he think he's white? And I get that.
Yeah.
And then they'll like start talking to other people. Oh my God, you know what? That guy, he's like,
He's a coconut.
I don't know who he thinks he is, or he thinks he's high or superior. But now the energy has gone from where they were good. It's negativity about me, because they don't agree. So me, I'm having impact and negative energy on them, even though I might not be a negative person.
Yeah.
Because they're not. It's like having someone, like the first few Indians that probably came into this country. It's like, or, when an Indian person moves into a street where it's like mainly all white people, and you go in there and, first you get this standoffish because they're like going, oh my God, this person's going to disrupt the neighborhood.
Yeah.
What they're going to bring in, the curry smell, or, the Eastern dress wear, their thoughts, their opinions, their worshipping, what we're going to hear, it's that. So very much reluctant until they just go, oh,
You're right.
Mr. So-and-so, Mr. Singh is okay, you know what I mean? He ain't too bad. He's a bit like me. He watches football. He does this. And, he likes his,
Whereas when we moved
lamb chops and things like that, or, sausage and mash and bangers and mash and stuff. And then all of a sudden they're going, just like us, just a different color. They believe in different things, but we're all cool.
That was nice. When we moved into this estate, there was no Asians whatsoever. We're the first to move here. Well, the houses were still getting built, to be honest, and we were coming to view it every time. And we were kind of the only Indians here. And gradually now, the majority of the place, it is just a lot of Indians are mixed. And we're the kind of people who are like, yeah, we're done being here. We want to move now. We don't want to be here anymore.
But it's that. It's
because it is about fitting in again. Because we're not comfortable.
It is. And, and this is what I'm trying to say. That when people aren't the same as you, first
you want to find your flock.
You standoffish and you're like, oh my God, what's coming here? And then all of a sudden, as you get to know them, you turn around and you see other qualities. That doesn't matter. But there's other things inside this person that I can relate to.
Yeah.
We've got in common. Maybe it's just, being a good partner or a good parent, or something else.
Find something.
There's something that makes it relatable. You do have certain similarities and thoughts. At the end of the day, majority of us, we just want to be happy. We want to be loved. We want to be
accepted
for being ourselves, true selves, and that's what it is, and that's what we sometimes usually fighting for. We're fighting for the same thing. It's just that egos sometimes come in the way. Other insecurities do come in the way. And sometimes and so we sort of like trying to protect our boundaries and things like that, where you ain't gonna know until you let go. And that's what you got to do.
Let go.
So you got to let go of all those things. It's not just letting go of the people or the things, but sometimes it's letting go of those thoughts that that you've had in your head growing up, or even now, like now we've adjusted to say we don't go with the norm, right? But again, it doesn't mean we stick to that as well. We've got to now readjust those. You got to keep changing,
Always.
keep adapting, and keep growing. That's what I'm trying to say. When grandkids come, we've got to become different. When the environment and things start changing in this world, more and more new things come. We've got to keep adjusting to that as well. And growing. Can't just keep on going, well, this is who we are and this is who we are.
You have no choice to. The people who don't
this
are left
is who
behind.
we're always going to be.
That's the thing. You have no
You
choice
can't
but
be.
to, you can't be the same people that you were saying earlier. The ones that still back in the day still think the same thing, like treating women the way they would have done.
But again, at the same time, it's okay to accept people for who they are and still say, I don't want to be around you.
Yeah.
Or I accept that that's why you are the way you are. You know what I mean? And you do the things you do because you might be born at a different, decade kind of thing or era, you know what I mean? Or you're from a different place. I fully agree why you are the way you are. But at the same time, and I accept why you are, and and I'm not discriminating against you or anything like that. But it doesn't mean I have to be your best mate. Or I have to be okay with it. It's like many times, I know I'm going on, but it's many times like now, we got a reaction channel, which is in India. And many times we see videos where people send, and you've got like kids pranking their parents and parents are hitting their kids. And we're there going, this is unacceptable.
Disgusting.
And, this is still abuse, or men arguing with women. And what people there turn around and say to us is, this is the norm. We parents hitting us here over there is basically their love for us, they care for us. It's like we don't grow up resenting them. But can you imagine even telling your kid off here? You could tell them off, and they're more or less suing you. Do you know what I mean?
Do you remember that video you sent me of that boy?
Yeah, a boy who didn't get a car. Like, he wanted a Lamborghini or Porsche because his dad's well off, and his dad bought him an electric car, and he's suing his dad, and he's in front of the judge saying, well, my dad's making more money now, and I was thinking this for my 21st, and he's bought me this. I'm not happy about it.
The judge was baffled. You see his face.
What?
This is what you have with
and you live in your dad's house.
The youngsters now.
But this is what I'm trying to say. But they say it's acceptable. But again, we could be here going, but that's not right. It doesn't make it okay. Can you imagine now they come here and saying this is okay?
Yeah.
You can't. And everyone else will go, what?
Yeah.
It's that. It doesn't make it okay just because other places, other things say, well, it is what it is. And, but that's like saying, well, other things that people discriminate against is okay because it was okay then. And now if you see what people call woke and all this stuff, like, we'll be laughing and joking at certain comedians and stuff back then.
Oh, God, yeah.
And now people are getting offended by the same things and saying this person should be of this color, that person should be this sexuality or whatever, and this is going on. But that wouldn't happen before because, again, times change. So people got no choice but to change and adapt, because otherwise people are going to be offended.
Well, you had lots to say then, Kenny.
Yeah, I guess.
Do you feel better? That
I guess.
you've got it off your chest because you were very quiet.
Yeah.
That was really good. I think this is what we should do whenever you have got something on your head. Just let it go, let it out. Because you don't know who it's going to be helping. But like for me, seeing you like that, like I said at the beginning, we've been for a lovely walk. It wasn't in between us. So obviously we've had conversations of things that have happened in the week. And, you know, although we've discussed it, you were in your own head where I would speak about it. And I know there's majority of men who do just go in their own head trying to like resolve it or try to like see, you know, whether it is have some answers or how am I going to handle this? What is my next approach going to be? But not speak it out. Don't talk about it. It feels so much better. I bet you feel so much more relieved now than you were earlier because you were just, I was like, it's like a little lost sheep. You know, he's very much entertaining when we're like doing something. He's laughing and joking with me. Woman, get on with it. What are you doing? And now I feel like you've become yourself. So that, what does that show you? You need to speak about things and you don't know who that would help. There are, like you say, you know, when I see, when we have had in the past, the amount of like kind of get-togethers we had with family or whatever it is, you always see that one man who's just quiet in the background. I always think to myself, I wonder why he's like that for, you know, because that to me is freaking boring. Like, you know, when we watch programs as well and we see, you know, we watching that program and I love it. I always see the older guy, like what he's like. And the kids are getting married and you see the older father, the bride. Why is he always quiet for? Like, what is wrong?
You can actually see the grooms. You can see the ones who just sit quiet and they're going, we don't want to stir the pot or say anything. But then you see the ones that even are secure in the relationship, they actually address something. And there's like going, look, excuse me, but, you know, and you're going, that guy's quite cool kind of thing. Yeah. But many guys do turn around and going, you know what, why waste our energy? Why waste our time?
But, you know, sometimes it's not good.
There's no point because you do, it could be about someone else. And again, it could be about someone else and you address something and then all of a sudden it ends up becoming about you and you're going, you know what, I shouldn't have just bothered to open my mouth.
I get that. But you know what, the main thing is, okay, that's true. You do think that, but then it's helped you because these kind of thoughts do get us back into the way
I think the biggest thing that you learn from is knowing your audience. Yeah. You know your audience, so who you can have a laugh with. You know your audience, who you can talk openly with. You know your audience of who you can say, you know, anything to and be yourself with. And it's that. So it's not don't be yourself, but be yourself around the people that, you know you could be yourself with without having any fears or insecurities. Yeah. Everyone else in this world, regardless, you know, if you're going to be around other people, then sometimes you got to be mindful. You got no choice.
Those men that you see that are very quiet, just sit there quietly.
Yeah,
you know for a fact. Now you know why. Anyway, I think that was a great podcast, and I think there's going to be a lot of things that people are taking away from it, especially hearing from you because you just really have hit on a lot of different things that you've, you know, grown through and have come to terms with and learned and are who you are today, why you are who you are today. And people will relate to that. There's going to be a lot of men who relate to that, and I think it's fantastic. It's been a great episode.
Anyway, guys.
I'm glad I opened up that little brain of yours today and let it free.
And also you learnt about Stevie K is basically be nice, be kind. There's only so much he takes before he... And then he says what he has
but you didn't do anything wrong. Anyway, now it's time for a thumbnail because you're always far away from me.
You're going to do a thumbnail now? We'll say goodbye first.
We will say goodbye. Let's just quickly do a thumbnail.
This is weird.
No, it's not.
It is so strange.
We always have thumbnails.
Say open honest, this is weird.
So we're being open honest. Your hands are always everywhere. I can never catch your thumbnail. So anyway, guys.
Yeah. Creepy smile.
Thank you for joining us.
Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. Let us know what else to talk, or we'll just come up with some subject. Yeah. And we just open up this
can of worms.
It was can of worms. What's the other Pandora's box? And let everything out, and then Dunya just like
takes what they want to take away from it.
Take whatever. Take care.
See you on the next one. Bye.